Do you sometimes find yourself ruminating over things and you don't seem to be able to escape your thoughts? They're making you anxious and the heart starts racing and you feel trapped? Or are you out in public and then you're in a situation where you feel like, oh, I would need to speak up? Or even picking up the phone when it rings, anxiety attacks. Many people in these days are suffering from anxiety. And this is the topic of today's video. Welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Sarah. I am a doctor of integrative medicine here at the International Institute of Holistic Health. And I want to talk to you about anxiety because I see it on a daily basis when I work with clients, how much suffering it inflicts when you're trapped in that loop of being anxious. It's stopping you from living your best lives. It stops you from living up to your potential. It stops you and holds you back from showing the world your true face. I am here now today to encourage you, to give you a few tricks and also shed some light on this topic of anxiety that most of us are encountering in our daily lives at some point or the other in our lives. From a perspective of an integrative medicine doctor, anxiety is an imbalance of the mental body. I have talked about the different bodies of human consciousness, starting with the most dense, the physical body, but we also have an emotional body, a mental body, a supramental, all the transcendent layers of the bliss body. So this is very clearly an imbalance of the mental body, what we think, and the intrusive thoughts that are keeping us up at night. Anxiety is very different from fear. While fear is an emotional imbalance, but with a very healthy underlying purpose, anxiety is a totally different story that is only happening in our heads, in our brains. So let's break it down. Most of us encountered fear as a very healthy reaction to an actual and real situation. We are afraid when we need to cross a bridge, when we experience the fear of height. We are afraid of an actual threat that's right in front of us. It's a healthy reaction. It's maybe a situation we want to stay away from or find a solution ASAP. Whether anxiety is a very different animal. Anxiety happens in our brains, in our thoughts, in our mental body as concept, as sometimes problems that we try to solve and try to look from different angles, but we just cannot find a solution to it. And with this said, this is actually also the first step out of it. This is an invitation to you. I see this on a daily basis working with clients when they report anxiety. Many times they are into other people's business with their thoughts. And this is not judgmental at all. It happens to all of us. We're constantly in other people's business. But why is this good news? It is good news because we are allowed to drop it. We are allowed to step back into our space, into our thoughts, maybe even into our problems. Anxiety often kicks in when you are faced with a problem that you are looking from all different angles and you cannot find a solution. And the good news is, if you cannot find a solution to a problem, it is because it's not for you to solve it. It is not your problem. You might have picked it up from a loved one, from a friend, from a co-worker, simply from the field. Sometimes we feel powerless, we feel anxious, we face a situation that is actually not for us to be solved. So this is an invitation to surrender to life, to surrender and let go of the wanting to solve that problem, because very clearly this is not yours to solve. I want to give you a few real life examples so that you can understand better what I mean, especially with the distinguishment of fear and anxiety. One of the best examples of fear is when your life is in danger. I experienced this quite a few times during volunteering in Africa. At least 3 situations are coming to mind right away. I experienced twice in my life mob violence, where out of the blue, violence started to brew and the mob started to go just frankly after everyone being in the way. During election time in downtown Nairobi, also in Kikuyu town, it happened to us that we were just trapped into a car accident. And if you know anything about Africa and the rural areas, a car accident can end very dangerous for everybody involved, because a mob can very fast come together and just really intend to punish the person who caused the accident. So you might be in an Uber or in a taxi that is involved in an accident, and because people see it as your fault causing an accident, mob violence can happen very easily. The third situation is where out of the blue, our matatu, so this is the public transportation around Nairobi, Kikuyu town. These are these little minivans that are going around town, bringing people from places A to B. Very simple, very convenient. But all of a sudden, it started to catch fire. And a couple of volunteers, we were sitting in the very back of that vehicle, and we didn't know if we can make it out in time or not. So these are really life-threatening situations. By the way, don't get me wrong, I love Africa with all of my heart. I had the best of times serving the people in Africa, volunteering, and also these extreme situations that I just described are part of it. The continent of Africa allowed me to make experiences that are pushed far beyond a very comfortable European life, but where I learned and understood so much about this planet, about this incarnation. And for the good, the bad, and the ugly, I am forever grateful how much richer it made my soul and how much it made me grow. So these 3 situations of mob violence, a fire hitting, you don't know whether you're going to survive the next few minutes or not. There's a clear fear present, but also a surrender to life. You let go and you connect to the deeper self, to the soul level, where you experience, oh, this is dangerous, I am scared, but I am more than this. I am more than just physical integrity. It's not that it just takes the fear to a different level, but it's this understanding of the cycles of love and also of death and life, being born and leaving again. And all of a sudden, even if it's scary, the situation, and you might be under shock and shaking for quite a few after that, you start to realize that life is bigger than that. Life is bigger than personal. Life is even bigger and longer than physical integrity. So dealing with fear and threat and something very tangible to a human being is actually easy. We are afraid and we feel an instant resolution to this. You can freeze, you can run for your life, you can fight, you can do something about it, you can have a physical reaction to it. Now switching to anxiety. When anxiety attacks, you are most of the time in other people's business or in a different timeline. You might be afraid what might happen in the future. You might ask yourself if your job is secure, or if you might have an income the next month, or might happen to your children while they are in school and not under your watch. A lot of these thoughts, they can be intrusive. They can cause that anxiety to rise, and they are actually none of your business. These are problems that are not solvable by you. And the answer to this is to surrender, to hand back. And sometimes you can hand back a problem to the other person whose problem it actually is to be solved. And sometimes you can hand back a problem to life. You can call it life, you can call it the universe. Give back to God's hands. It's not for you to solve. And this is exactly where you can break free from that cycle of having your anxiety up, feeling attacked by it, or draining you. Stepping back into your field, breathing, letting go. And you can do a little spring cleanup in your brain, handing back things where they actually live, where they belong, either in other people's field or into God's hands. It is not your business. So I'm inviting you, if you're dealing with anxiety, if you're dealing with fear, do something about it and live and own your physical reaction. If you're anxious, hand it back to the people it belongs to, hand it back into God's hands. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you find some courage through this, and I love to see you next week. When you like this video, please stay on the channel and watch some more of my soul and personality merging videos. Also, it helps greatly to subscribe to this channel so we can continue this work together. Much love. See you next week. Dr. Sarah.